Hello YouTube, Elmas to show up here, and I have for you guys today another Wi-Fi battle, and I actually have a kind of big announcement at the end of the battle, so if anything just watch like the last minute or two of this video so you guys can know exactly what I have to tell you guys. But my opponent today is Tony Daddy. If you guys do enjoy the video, then make sure to hit that like button down below. One like can definitely go a long way. And this is going to be NU. The team that I'm using in this match I based around Articuno. I'm going into this battle. The biggest threat I saw on Tony Daddy's team was probably going to be that for Alligator, because if I allow it to set up to +2, then it could possibly sweep me, just because I actually have offensive Vileplume as opposed to defensive Vileplume. So he's going to be leading off with Rotom, which is actually a huge problem to my team, and that dawned on me as soon as I tried to look at something to switch into Rotom. So I'm going to stay and predict him to want to go for a possible trick or Volt Switch, and I am modest max special attack, so I get off a huge chunk of damage on the Rotom, as it turns out that he's actually Trick Flame Orb. I was not at all expecting that, as this turn I'm going to predict him to want to go for the Air Slash, so I switch right into my Audino, which is Mega Audino. So I'm going to be able to take the Air Slash, and then this turn, because this is the final move that he can go for, I'm actually going to switch back into Vileplume, predicting him to want to go for the Thunderbolt. And if he did Air Slash, he might have actually... well, no, I don't think he would have been able to take me out, but he probably would have brought me down to around maybe like 30 or 20% HP. And thankfully, he does just end up going for the safe T-Bolt as I get rid of the Rotom, which is really good for me, as this now is going to give him a free switch into his Malamar. And Malamar was really only going to be a problem if I couldn't get off any prior damage onto it, so predicting him to predict me to switch out fearing Psycho Cut, I'm actually going to stay in, predicting him to Sucker Punch or even potentially Knock Off, and I'm just going to go for a modest stabbed Sludge Bomb, as this is going to do a really solid amount of damage to this Malamar, which is really great because with him being Life Orb, I don't have to worry about him possibly being scarfed. So now after he knocks out my Vileplume, I can just safely bring in my Articuno, which with it being timid is going to be faster than Jolly Max Speed Malamar. So I am going to be able to easily knock him out with the Freeze Dry, which is really great because Malamar is one less thing I now have to worry about. However though, because he does still have his Regirock at a solid amount of HP, he can easily bring that in, which does kind of suck, but at the same time it's not that big of a deal because I should be able to kind of take it on with the rest of my team. Mainly this Prinplup, because obviously I do have Scald for it, which is super effective, plus I could always burn him with the Scald, as it makes a nice play, predicts me to switch out, and he's going to go for the Stealth Rocks, as I can go ahead and take this opportunity to want to just go for the default, because I really don't want to allow him to have the rocks up for free, as he actually brings in his Weezing, which isn't a bad play, because if he had switched into Lilligant or his for Alligator, there was a good possibility that I could burn them. So Weezing was really his best play to do right here, as he decides to go for Sludge Bomb. Thankfully he doesn't poison me, as I get off a bit of damage with the Scald. And the reason why I wanted to do this is because even though my Audino is a mega offensive variant, I don't think Psychic OHKO's Weezing, so I wanted to get off prior damage so I could ensure that Psychic would be able to knock it out. Unfortunately though, I kind of don't have the Audinoite on my Audino, and yeah, this is regular modest max special attack Audino, so I'm not gonna Mega Evolve because I can't. And yeah, I don't know how this completely escaped my mind, but either way though, I'm just gonna leave an Audino, just try to get off as much damage as I possibly can on this Regirock, just because I really don't have any use for Audino, because it's not Mega Audino. And judging for how much damage the Psychic did, if I was Mega Audino at +1, Dazzling Gleam might have actually been enough to KO the Regirock, which would have been really good for me because I wouldn't have to deal with this thing later in the battle, as he's going to be able to finish me off. I'm not too sure why he switched up moves and went for the Fire Punch. I guess he didn't want to miss Rock Slide, which is understandable. as now I can just bring in my Articuno, and at the amount of HP Regirock is at, I will indeed be able to knock him out with the Freeze Dry, as he actually switches down to his Weezing. I'm not too sure why he did this, but you're gonna see that he actually turns out to have the Destiny Bond, and I know from prior experience, so long as his Weezing does not have Flamethrower, his Sludge Bomb will not be able to break my Substitute. So if he did have Flamethrower, I think he would have actually broke my sub. But as I mentioned, he does turn out to have the Destiny Bond, and this is kind of bad because if he does end up breaking my sub, then I'm going to be forced to knock him out, and I'm not going to be able to be behind his sub, which could put me in a bad situation in this battle. So I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Roost this turn, because with him going for Destiny Bond before, if I knock him out this turn, he will also knock me out. So I am forced to not attack, as luckily his Sludge Bomb does not break my sub, and then the following turn I will be able to easily outspeed him, and I believe a Freeze Dry will knock him out at the amount of HP that he is at, and it does. So that's one less thing I have to worry about. I have Articuno behind his sub, I have Hurricane for Lilligant, I have Freeze Dry for Alligator, and I can definitely outspeed and knock out this Regirock. So Articuno right now putting in the mightiest of work. Why this thing is FU, I have no idea why, because as you can see, people don't really prepare for it. I get a crit, highly doubt that crit mattered, because Regirock doesn't have the best special defense around. As he brings in the Feraligatr, I'm honestly not really too worried about this thing, because if I'm not mistaken, Freeze Dry is a 2-hit KO, so I'll be able to take a hit obviously because I'm behind a sub, and then I'll be able to outspeed Gator and just knock him out with 2 Freeze Dries. So he does end up going for the Aqua Jet. Turns out that he's Life Orbed, and I actually knock him down into Torrent range, which was actually a little bit scary, because did you see how much damage that Aqua Jet did? That is way too strong, and I could have definitely just gone for the Freeze Dry, because he could have possibly gone for the Waterfall predicting me to sub, which also wouldn't have been a bad play, and then he could have brought in Lilligant and then outsped me and put me to sleep, because as you're about to find out, he's actually a timid Lilligant as opposed to a modest one, because that's the only way Lilligant would be able to outspeed Articuno. And here I really have to rely on Hurricane hitting, because this Lilligant could actually possibly sweep through the remainder of my team, as thankfully I don't miss, and now thanks to that huge amount of damage that I got off with Hurricane, I will be able to just knock out Lilligant with a Freeze Dry, and that is going to be the victory in my favor. So even though I think the score was like a 4 or 5-0, if he had made the proper prediction with Feraligatr as opposed to going for Aqua Jet and going for Waterfall on my sub, he might have actually been able to sweep me with Lilligant. Then again, it would depend on how he played around my Hariyama, or how I played with Hariyama, and just, yeah, see, it's these type of matches that in my opinion, score does not matter on how close a battle really was, but that's just my thought on this. And if you guys did enjoy, then make sure to hit the like button down below. And basically what I wanted to tell you guys is that for those of you who don't follow me on Twitter, which I don't know why I don't follow me on Twitter, that's where I kind of keep you guys up to date and whatnot with what I'm doing and what's going on. I actually started my college semester Thursday, so on the off chance that I don't upload like one day, then it's probably just because I'm focusing on a class or I'm just too tired, because for those of you who don't know, I also do have a part-time job, and that of course takes up some of my free time. So on the off chance that I only upload like maybe 5 or 6 out of 7 days, and that's probably why. Now I'm not saying that uploads are going to be scarce, I'm just saying if I miss a day or two through a week, then that's just probably why, because I'm too tired or I'm just focusing on like a quiz or something. And just, yeah, I hope you guys aren't going to be bothered by that, because I really wanted to try my best to upload daily as much as I could, but just on the off chance that again I miss a day or two, that's probably why. So hopefully you guys won't be bothered by that. And just, yeah, thank you for watching, everybody. With that being said, I will see you all tomorrow, so later everybody.